Students, take your seats, prepare your components, verbal, somatic, and material. Class is once again in session. I'm Tormented by Gnomes, I'll be your game master. Welcome to IOTH Academy, our 5th edition magical school adventure in which 4 students attend the greatest institution of magical learning in all the 4 kingdoms of Anacra. Those students, of course, being my fantastic, charismatic, charming, talented, witty cast consisting of Crowan, Leg Day, Lemon Kiwi, and Necra. Welcome back, all 4 of you. It's good to see you today.
Good to see you. So excited to play some IOTH Academy tonight.
I know. I'm stoked. Does anyone remember what happened last time? I just seem to have drawn a complete blank. Everything was fine, right? Everything
Garnet
was
drowned.
Pretty, yeah.
We killed a kid.
We're kind of all in some shit right now.
Oh, F for F?
Yeah, for F. Oh, no. Not F.
Yeah, because
I think Garnet drowned. Did something happen to Arianna, or did we just theory? I know there was theory crafting, but it might just be me and Crowan, but I think that was because you might have had something this week that ended up allowing you to actually play.
We fixed
I think
the
it
mirror.
might have just been Garnet drowning.
Yeah, I sucked at 2 rolls.
Because we got teleported by a water genie who was high as balls.
A stoned water genie, yes, that's important.
I will say, I think that's the first time that's happened in one of my campaigns. Congratulations.
What, a genie got high?
Or drowning?
In, like, during active play, a genie getting high. Yes. I had to think about it. There was one other possibility. Ninja Man Matt knows who I'm talking about. When we last left our 4 intrepid students, they braved the Rupture, an event that occurs every 12 years when the ambient enchantments of IOTH Academy refract upon each other, unleashing a wave of chaotic energy. It was a perfect time for them to enact their master plan of solving the runic circle surrounding a water genie who is bound to the academy to manage the water flows of one of the young student housing areas. They'd met this genie on a previous adventure and thought they could change the rune circle around him in order to manipulate the spell and possibly gain power over him, for purposes that none of them ever really fully verbalized, but that's okay.
I mean, what we've basically done is laid the groundwork for a terrorist attack on the Grove. But being like 12 and 13, we probably didn't realize it.
Well, he also kissed my shoe. This is important lore.
Yes, actually, that is important. That is important. And he confirmed that he is a good boy. So they snuck into the Undercroft, which is the ground level of the academy where a bunch of just alchemical experiments and such get dumped. And the spirit of a former student of the academy caught up with them. A student who learned secrets that destroyed them, tore them apart. And the only way that they could free themselves from this curse was to share those secrets with somebody else. And in this case, the spirit latched on to our young students, specifically Garnet, but the rest of them as well. They barricaded themselves in a fallen tower. Poor F, a homunculus who Alyxander had befriended under circumstances which he still hasn't shared with the rest of the party, if I recall correctly. Poor F exploded because he heard some of the secrets, just the faintest whispering of these secrets. Our heroes managed to put together a magical mirror that F had found, mostly intact. It's partially broken. When they reflected the spirit, they saw the spirit's history with IOTH, the founder of the academy. They saw this student, a 7th year student, turning the pages of a book and then their mind being invaded by impossible levels of knowledge, after which they threw themselves out a window and transformed into their current state. Fragments of this knowledge, flashes of this secret, have been imprinted into the minds of our young heroes. The Alep, the tortured spirit, is no more, and our heroes managed to climb up the central spire of IOTH Academy to the Grove. During the rupture, as it began with dawn, they reflected the genie in the mirror, and they saw the genie's history with IOTH reflected. And during that time, Alyxander called upon the Herald, the mysterious entity who grants him his warlock powers, for help in rewriting the runic circle. When they accomplished this, they were able to give the genie orders, and though it was still bound to the circle and unable to leave, it had to obey their will. So they commanded it to transport them back to the Great Hall, where they live. Unfortunately, this is in the middle of the rupture, when any expenditure of magical energy could cause a cataclysmic chain reaction and also make you trip, and not as in over your shoes. So now this genie went just completely off the walls, transported them through the elemental well springs in the domain of Liban, sovereign of the seas, causing them to nearly drown. And when they emerged, Garnet was unconscious. Did anyone else fail those drowning saves?
I think I was good. Oh, also, do we remember what he disguised the mirror as? Because that's how we got high as balls, because he used the magic to disguise the mirror.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
What was the final verdict on that?
It's
Did
something
it just
small
become
and
a
hideable.
smaller mirror? Did he just become like a hand
Yeah.
mirror?
I thought we brought it with us because
Yeah.
buddy,
Yeah, we
one of
did.
your, shadowy people were like, "Don't leave it behind." So we're like, "Oh yeah, true," and then we brought it.
I think it might just be a smaller mirror now.
Yeah, little pocket mirror.
A little compact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the mirror has shrunk. You've all emerged through the water basin in the kitchen of the Great Hall, which flooded. It just burst out with a massive tide. After all, it was momentarily connected to the elemental plane of water. So it completely flooded the kitchen of the Great Hall as the rupture was drawing to a close. Garnet was unconscious with lungs full of water. The rest of you were sopping wet and just scattered around the kitchen. And that's where we left off. What would you like to do?
Oh, bloody hell, she's drowned! Athalor's gonna run straight over to the absolutely cataclysmically, titanically fucked Garnet.
Thanks,
And
bro.
try and just like give him a little slam on the sternum.
Roll.
Oh, do not be my first kiss. Do not.
Roll
not.
a medicine check.
I'm sorry, you fucked.
How fucked am I?
You're incredibly,
Oh my
incredibly
god.
fucked.
Just ruptures my fucking spleen.
Break the sternum in two.
There's going to be 2 ruptures today, kiddos.
Breaks rib.
Athalor runs over to Garnet in a state of distress and calls upon all the medical knowledge that he acquired through his many years bathing in the hum of the gyre back at home. Unfortunately, Elven Alfar anatomy and human anatomy is slightly different. So that exact place where you're supposed to press in order to get somebody to, cough up the water and such is different. A horrendous squelching, choking sound emerges. Garnet, please roll a death saving throw.
Oh my fucking god.
Someone else deal with this.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
You
I'm
now
gonna
have
die.
1 failure racked up out of 3. Athalor has taken action. Necra, Crowan, what would the 2 of you like to do?
I guess at this point, I'm super concerned about what is going on with Garnet. But I
Mhm.
don't feel like I have the knowledge or the capability to actually do anything. So I feel like at this point, maybe we carry her out of here, find a, bring her back to the dorm, and then maybe get an adult to help us. Do we have time for that?
Well, you don't have a lot of medical knowledge, so I don't know if you have time for that. Also, what's your strength score?
Good question.
12-year-old child trying to lift another 12-year-old child?
I mean, we used a big ass mirror.
That's
-1.
Okay, so your strength is like a 8 or a 9. So you'd be hard pressed. It'd be very much a drag through the thin layer of water now sloshing over the floor. Alexander, is there anything that you can do?
Yeah, maybe between both of us, we could try to carry Garnet, because there's nothing that I don't think Alex would think of immediately to be able to do, or
Mhm.
like has in his skill set. So it's gonna be like kind of panicking, looking around. But maybe we can carry her out.
You're gonna shake the water out of me like day.
Oh, you're about to. Yes. Oh, I was about to do that.
So there's two ways to click on the spell. One of them posts it in chat. The other one just expands it. Very important to figure that out so you can look like a total badass and not have things spoiled for you.
I
All right.
clicked on the wrong thing.
So
gonna kill
Alexander
me.
and Arianna both like grab and start trying to move her out of the way. Athalor, you get one more action before Garnet has to roll another death save. What do you do?
All right.
Please.
I'm gonna shake the water. I'm just gonna go like, here are some lungs. Just go.
Just keep the blood in there, please. Please.
Here, I was imagining, Katara in Avatar delicately doing this magical
Yes.
gesture to pull the water out, but instead Athalor's just going on the fake lungs. Out goes the bad air.
He's just going. He's just doing like he's panicking so much. He's just felt ribs crack up beneath his hands. Like, I'm double murdering this person.
Okay, in the place of a medicine check, Shape Water allows you to instead use an Arcana check to, after all, the human body is X% water. So roll an Arcana check to delicately remove the fluid from Garnet's lungs as she is hoisted by these two 12-year-olds.
I'm sorry if I'm about to make you into a shrunken head.
I swear to God.
15.
It'll be okay.
Please.
It works. Garnet
Oh,
coughs
thank God.
as the water floats out into the air. Garnet is now unconscious but stable.
Well,
We now go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, well, it looks like it worked. I think we should get her back to the dorm fast before anybody knows that we're missing.
Well,
Right from the flooded kitchen. Yes.
they might know already. That was kind of loud.
Well, we better try.
Yeah, I think we should hop to it.
All right. What is the strategy to escape the kitchen without getting absolutely busted?
Alexander, is there a way maybe to get to maybe the hidden room?
From here, let me think. Would there be a way to get to the hidden room? That's like, is it close to here or no?
Roll a cartography tools check. If you get a high score, I'll say yes. Otherwise, I'll say
Alright.
no.
It's like Hogwarts, where it just bends in on
18.
itself.
18. Yeah, there is. I mean, you are in sort of the kitchens. There's some service passageways that you could hustle through. Most of the teachers are carefully monitoring everybody to make sure that everything's fine during the rupture. So you definitely could escape to the secret room.
Am I high as balls from using shape water during the rupture?
Oh, yeah.
Oh no.
You saved her life. You did save her life. Oh, you know what? I really appreciate you, the honesty there. I really do.
Water, nice.
Whoa.
There's a saving
This
throw
is
involved that I am
Garnet
pulling up
water.
as we speak. Roll a
Alex, you and I
Constitution
might be
saving
on
throw.
our own.
Maybe. This would be great. Oh.
Wait, actually, how many spells, not including the new spells you get for leveling up, which is going to happen imminently, before you added those lovely new spell slots, how many spells did you have left?
Like 2?
2 level 1 spells?
Yeah.
Great. Roll a Constitution saving throw. The DC is 8 because it's 8 plus a number of spell slots you lost. Natural
Yay!
20.
Ooh.
All right.
Man, I am just reverse boy today, aren't I? Natural 1 and natural 20 in the first 10 minutes.
I could have used that when you were trying to, not kill me.
Yeah, sorry about those ribs.
All right.
Yeah, no problem.
So as you cast the spell and the water flows out of her lungs, you feel this rush of electricity and this menthol cold sensation flowing through your very veins as the rest of your spells, your magic, just floods out of you into the ambient energy of IOTH Academy, draining your remaining spell slots. You definitely feel woozy and a little detached from reality for a moment, but you are not going to be stunned and absolutely high for the next 24 hours.
Sick.
All right. Alex will say, yeah, I think there's a hallway that not many people use. It's right close to here, and it puts us out relatively near the room, so we could just follow
Alright.
that.
Good luck, guys. I need 5 or 7. Okay.
I thought we don't have 5.
I'll be
we're
right
gonna
behind
go.
you, but I can't carry her. I'm carrying the water.
You could drop the water. It's done. The use is done. You've done it.
Good point.
We gotta go, Alex. I think it's up to us to get Garnet out of here, and then Athalor, you better be behind us.
I'm
Maybe we
helping.
can come back to get him.
I'm helping.
Just like hold on to my cloak and just don't let go, all right?
Yep. Oh, that's soft.
All right.
Thank you.
All 3 of you, and don't do anything just yet, we're going to do a group stealth check to avoid detection. Alyxander and Arianna, you are both carrying Garnet. That's going to inflict disadvantage on your stealth checks. Athalor, because you succeeded on your save, you don't have any mechanical penalties, regardless of your current mental state. But
Stealth.
I do need saves from all of you, or stealth checks from all of you.
Okay.
Saves for stealth. Bam. That was such an ingracious roll to just plop down.
A
Oh,
15
doable.
from Athalor, an 11 from Alyxander,
Oh, we're bad jacks.
Uh-oh.
and a 3.
Ew.
Arianna sets everything on fire as we leave.
As you
Like
are
the dirty
shuffling
water.
into the passageway, a caretaker rushes into the kitchen. What the sovereigns happened here?
The sink overflowed.
All right, so this person, you have just ducked into a passageway. This person has burst into the kitchen right behind you, may not have seen you, but is suspicious and actively searching the area. You have not been caught, but the threat level has increased, and this problem requires addressing.
Alexander would at the opposite way, like where the kitchen opens, and like the other way down the hall or something, wants to minor illusion to just like make some noise, like someone's like sloshing away or something through some water, like down just the opposite direction.
All right. You can either make a new group stealth check, and your check will have advantage, which will even out to a neutral check, Crowan. Or I'll let you roll an Arcana check to substitute for deception. Which would you like to do?
So it'd be a whole group stealth again.
Be careful about
or
using the spells because
Arcana.
it's the rough.
Right. Alex wouldn't think about it. I didn't even think about it.
All right, because Athalor's spells just got sucked out through his brain, it is fair for Alyxander to be aware of this, but the choice remains yours.
Yeah, I mean, I said it and just go with it. Already doing it.
All right, full send. Do you want to make the deception check? So the way this would work, either you'd roll Arcana against my insight, or the whole team would roll new stealth checks. Your Athalor and Alyxander would roll flat rolls. Arianna would still roll with disadvantage. What would you like to do?
I'm just gonna 1v2 this one because I don't know.
Flip a coin,
one
flip
would
a coin.
be My Arcana, 2 would be the stealth. It's 2, so the stealths.
We're going with the stealth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go.
Athalor,
Oh, boy.
Alexander, both of you. Actually, before we do this, Alexander, how many spell slots do you have left?
Orlex don't have many of those.
Right.
It's,
Have you used any level 1 spells during this adventure?
No.
Then you have 2 spell slots, right?
2, yes.
Roll a DC 10 Constitution saving throw.
All right. Oh, 19.
19.
Nice.
Great. So your remaining spell slots also just your magical energy is drained from you, and you the terrain around you sort of stretches away for a moment, and you feel weird, but you're not stunned for 24 hours, which is nice.
How does that interact with his other guy?
Finna find out.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Oh man, Alex, I'm so glad we're friends.
Everybody loves somebody sometime.
Alex just like
Oh
nodding
my
his head
God.
along to it. Just-
No,
glad
I
we're
think the way that it
friends
would
too.
work is it would actually almost drain your connection. Like that presence would still be there. It's not like when Garnet used her healing hands and that connection was like burned away, severed.
Yeah.
It's more like it's got really bad reception. The voice, not just the voice, but the presence, the cold wind, that doorway to power it's down a hallway that just did that horror movie thing when the hallway just stretches way out.
Yeah.
So
I'll
you
be right
are
back, Dark Master. I'm going into a tunnel.
exactly.
Okay.
All right. So we're going with new stealth checks. Athalor, Alexander, roll flat stealth checks. Arianna, roll a stealth check with disadvantage.
I'm sneaking away. Yes, I'm sneaking away.
A 5 from Leg Day, a 14 from Crowan, and a 6 from Arianna.
Poggers. Very poggers.
All right. The caretaker, hearing the noise, sticks their head out in the direction that you cast the spell, and then hears sloshing in both directions, calls for help. I think there's 2 groups. Whoever just did this. One of them went this way, the rest of them went that way. You stay here, I'll go check the service tunnels. This
That's where we are.
caretaker is now actively pursuing you.
Wait. Take Garnet. I will use my wit.
I don't think that's a good idea. I think that the best thing that we could do right now is just tell them we were scared. We had no idea what happened, and we just were trying to hide because we weren't sure that we were gonna get in trouble.
But we could lie.
Is that I am?
That is a
I am
lie.
an expert liar.
Oh. Yeah.
I
Mm.
think you guys should let me do the talking.
Will we run away?
No, stay here. Just
Huh.
don't talk.
Okay.
Don't talk.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Where do we hide her?
No, that's not
That's
good.
going to arouse some suspicion.
Oh, you're right. You guys go with Garnet.
Good idea.
I will stay here and talk to them.
Okay.
Best of luck. You
Yep.
got this.
Go. I'll pop my head out before they get into the service tunnel.
We're
Go.
proud of you, Arianna.
Okay.
And I suppose that, like, one hand's like got Garnet's feet under here, and the other hand's like on Alexander's cloak. Like, yay! We're going on an adventure.
The two
Oh, boy.
12-year-olds who have partaken of mind-altering magical fields carry their unconscious and partially drowned friend down the service tunnels, while the only person in the group not thusly affected does what?
Arianna quickly, she can hear that somebody is coming at this point because we've obviously made a bunch of noise. So at this point, Arianna runs as fast as she can to poke her head out of the service tunnel as to allow her friends to get away. And
Okay.
so she kind of rears her head around and she's like, hello? Can you help?
The caretaker, wearing the familiar brown robes and holding a wand, looks at you as you poke your head out, looks around the room. Are you all right?
I'm not entirely sure what happened. I was just a little hungry, so I came here to get a snack, and all of a sudden the there was just water everywhere. And I got scared. I felt like I needed to hide because I heard voices coming into the room, and I didn't want to get in trouble.
All right. Arianna, roll a deception check.
Big money, no whammies.
Wait, she's got inspiration in case she needs advantage.
Yeah.
Natural 20! She doesn't need shit!
Let's go.
Innocence buff.
All right. The caretaker Regnalt is somebody who you've seen around here before, who knows that you're a good student, you're a good kid, you always follow the rules, you work really hard, and you're kind-hearted, and you would never get into any sort of trouble. And as the tears begin to just well up, or maybe it's just water that's scattered on you, who knows, immediately goes into caretaking mode. Without an ounce of suspicion, is just this is a child who is potentially in danger, who may have been traumatized, and needs to be taken care of. So, blanket around your shoulders, carefully escorted through the water to, hot cocoa, all that jazz.
Gordon Ramsay with kids mode. Oh, precious.
Exactly. Oh, dear.
Fucking donkey.
This actually was a stroke of brilliance, because Arianna's the only one who didn't get relocated for complicated stuff earlier. Ideal person to pull this off. Very well done.
And they also know Arianna loves to eat. It's a plausible story.
Mhm.
So
If you'd mentioned that before you made the roll, I might have given you advantage.
Mm.
All right.
Speaking of two donkeys.
Yeehaw.
All right. Athalor and Arianna both have 1 point of inspiration granted by chat because Athalor used a spell and risked the rupture to save Garnet. The rest of the day, I'm at this point satisfied. Arianna has effectively tanked the adult aggro. The rupture only lasts an hour, so that ends fairly quickly. They will have some questions. I mean, they don't really have a lot more questions for Arianna. Her story is already basically checked out, so they're more interested in inspecting the cistern in the kitchen to see what the heck happened. Why did it explode? And could it be in any way connected to the absolute flood that just flattened the housing in the Grove during the rupture?
Nah.
Only small magical
way.
terrorist.
no way.
That'd be crazy.
All right. Any other wrap up on the day? I mean, Garnet, after an hour or so, comes to and is alive with 1 hit point.
Poggers.
Is that when the rupture wooziness wears off of us, or are we still a little
So if you fail your save, it lasts for 24 hours, and you're just completely done for 24 hours. You succeeded on your saves, which means that I leave the narrative effects up to you. One thing that does happen after the rupture ends, though, and it's how you can tell that the rupture has ended and it's safe to cast spells if you still have any, is there is a harmless rain of blue electric sparks that just fall from above. It looks like flickering lightning snow that just descends upon the entire college.
Does that include inside?
It does not fall inside, except in the kitchen and anywhere the spells have been cast. So they go into the kitchen, there's sparks. They go into the service tunnels, there's sparks. They find it slightly sus. But this blue, it sort of contrasts with the normal ambient golden filter that's been placed over the entire academy because of the protective golden sphere that surrounds it. So, and it's a big highlight. All the students are eager to go outside. It kind of prickles when it hits your skin, but it's otherwise harmless. People are running around in this as it goes on, and Garnet is not dead, and that could be worse.
Yeah, I imagine after we get away, we get to the secret room, and as we're quote unquote sobering up or whatever, waiting the hour, just look over to Athalor and be like, I hope Arianna is okay. That was something, but we made it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alex.
Yeah,
Alex.
that's my name.
Do you remember what we saw? with the mirror and everything.
Kind of.
Man.
It's all a little bit of a blur. I feel like you might have seen more than me. I don't remember
I feel
quite
like
all
my
that.
brain. He's just interrupting randomly. He just doesn't understand the flow of conversation at the moment. My brain.
After being interrupted a few times, Zog's probably just shift to just nodding and like going along with whatever Athalor is saying. Just like,
You realize he's just rambling along to
yeah.
himself. Everything. You think Garnet's alive? Yeah, she's alive.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm like sitting there staring at you now.
Garnet,
What?
how does your chest feel? Because
What?
it's
Did you touch? Did you touch me while I was unconscious?
It was not like
Why does it hurt?
I
Why-
saved you.
Why does it hurt when I breathe?
Why does it hurt when I breathe? Exactly.
It was snapping. or
Snapping of
something.
what?
Human things.
Feeling my brow. Okay, my brows. Everything is intact. What did you do to me?
he just tried. I mean, you were the water.
I think I might have just broken something at the rope, and then I did the thing, and the water all came out of your mouth, and it was like, oh,
He did save you. That did happen.
undrowned you.
Yeah, that was wonderful. I've never been that close to death. I have to write down this whole experience. I start patting myself down from my notebook. It was so cool.
Notebook is just crushed.
Sopping wet.
No, my notes. Oh, Athalor. It's all your fault.
What? I didn't put us in the water. If I came the closest to put us out of the water, I put the water out of you.
Wait, where's Arianna?
She's lying.
She went to talk to the caretakers. There was one coming after us.
Well, we should go find her.
I think she'll find us. I mean, yeah, she knows we're coming here. Maybe.
Okay.
Alex knows. Alex knows.
Yeah, you know too. Everything. The world. Yeah.
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 The world. It
What the hell is wrong
died,
with you guys?
and
It seems to be affecting him worse, but cast magic during the thing.
I saw everything.
So it's
I need a sleepy, really. Yeah.
What time is it? How long have I been drowned for?
Well, it's the rupture ended. The rupture started at dawn and ended an hour later. And it took you an hour to come to after being stabilized.
So is it daytime?
It's daytime,
It's like
barely.
morning?
And
Breakfast time?
it's like 6 a.m. at this point. 6:30, 6 something a.m. And there's a rain of harmless electric blue sparks falling from the sky. Not that you
We
can
are
tell
deep
because
in
you
the
are deep,
secret room.
deep inside.
Well, maybe we should take a nap until Arianna gets back so we don't get points of exhaustion. aka, let's rest and sleep this. Oh, it looks like Athalor is already out.
Yeah, fun.
yeah. Maybe we can nap in here. That should be fine. Are you like okay? Garnet? Are you feeling like
Oh,
you're not
nap
dying
will
anymore?
solve it all. I
Alright.
just need a little nappy nap. So,
You absolutely have some broken ribs.
yep, it
Oof.
hurts. I'm gonna sleep this off.
It's in various states in this secret study room. We just nap time.
Just
I just realized that Arianna eats so much that it was conceivably plausible that she'd go for pre-breakfast.
yeah, no, the story checked out.
What about second
That
breakfast?
checks out. She's going in for 0.5 breakfast.
Breakfast 0. All right. Does anyone, I mean, the rest of the day is essentially just going to be people cleaning up the mess, people checking in on the students, making sure that everyone's all right. After the rupture, a lot of grown-ups and teachers doing magical analysis of what the heck happened in the kitchen. A lot of whispers and rumors about what's going on at the Grove because the harmless electrical sparks seem to be a little bit more like a thunderstorm over there. In fact, if you look at the exact right spot out through the haze of blue sparks, you can see a whole bunch of students being evacuated. down the stairs, completely leaving the grove.
Did we flood all their homes?
That's the scuttlebutt. That's the rumor that you're hearing.
So does Arianna come to the secret room?
Yes. At this point, I feel like, you know, after being taken care of and like getting my hot cocoa and my snack, you know, I at this point realize like enough time has probably passed that like I have to go check on them. So I run in, I run to the door, I open it, and they're all asleep.
Just sprawl 12-year-olds scattered around like the debris from an explosion.
And I'm like, are you okay? Is everyone all right? Shh.
Oh, Arianna, how'd it go?
It went fine. I just told them that I was looking for a snack, and then all of a sudden water was everywhere, and they bought it. I don't know. It doesn't seem like they wanted to ask me any more questions. They just got me my snack and sent me on my way.
Did you bring us any bacon, any snacks?
Well, it's almost breakfast. I figured I'd get you, and we could go talk over breakfast.
Garnet, she isn't a waitress.
I'm just asking if she brought some.
Oh,
Shut up.
She'll kiss your feet afterwards as well.
Well, I can't command her to do that. She would just have to do it on her own. But let's go have breakfast.
Garnet, are you feeling all right?
Yeah, I was able to rest off, I believe. All my hit points back.
You had enough time for a short rest so you could spend hit dice.
I think my short rest is now a long rest with my gloaming.
No, you need
feast.
4 hours instead of 8 hours, and a short rest is 1 hour. So
Oh, I thought short rest is 4. Okay, then
Yep.
I'm only partially on.
you can roll 1 hit die and recover. Well, you can roll as many hit die as you want and recover that much health. You also have your healing hands ability, which would magically repair your ribs.
Was 14. Let's roll all 3. Okay, poggers. So 16. So I rolled all my hit dice and probably gonna spend that healing thing.
Mm-hmm.
Alex flinches whenever healing hands is cast. So canonically happens.
Okay, almost full health. Cool. So I'm back to almost full health. -1.
Good lying, Arianna.
Hey, I like to eat. I guess they believed that, and I think we're all right.
The best
didn't ask me
lies
any
are
more
veiled in
questions.
truth.
True.
Did you guys hear what's happening though? I got back to the dorms, and apparently everybody at the Grove is getting evacuated right now. I think we might have flooded the entire Grove.
Oh, okay.
Oh, oopsie.
It was that bad?
Is the genie still there?
I have no idea. I would assume that like all these blue sparks came flying down, and apparently there's a huge concentration of them over at the Grove, and I would assume maybe around the genie too.
Well, we also have suspicion over this IOTH guy and what's in his office with that book that we saw in the vision. So we have 2 things we kind of have to check out: the Grove and around this IOTH thing.
I mean, when we saw someone reading that book, didn't they turn into an Alip?
Yeah. What must have been in that book that they would go mad?
Think we should
I
find
don't know,
out.
Garnet's sense of humor?
Oh my god, you're so funny. So we can go check it out.
So, just so I'm understanding correctly, so this person read the stuff and went mad, and then you want to now go read the stuff that...
Which
well,
involves breaking into the headmaster of this academy's office.
well,
And reading the stuff that
The most
drove
powerful
the
wizard of all time.
person mad.
I might have like an ally, like a certain familiar that could maybe go read it for me. So if someone's gonna take an L, it can be my familiar. if we want to do two things at once, I can send my familiar to go look at it while we
Breakfast?
breakfast, maybe.
I like this, man. I'm with Garnet. Breakfast and familiar.
All right, breakfast. Sure.
I think that's a good idea. It seems like the teachers are all investigating what happened. This might be the perfect time to go look at that book.
I think I have to be within 100 feet of the familiar. DM check, right?
I believe so. Let me verify.
I don't know how far the breakfast bar is from IOTH's office, but
So
Along with a bacon sandwich.
IOTH pretty much parks at the top of the entire spire, at the very near the peak of the dome itself. You're still in kindergarten, essentially. You're in like the bottom tier, the bottom few floating lands of IOTH's sphere. The sphere is around a mile in diameter, so you're somewhere in the 4,000 feet away range, I would say.
okay.
Also,
Ooh.
so the way that the school works, they bring in folks around the age you were when you started here, 10 years old in human years, equivalent for other species. You go through your first 7 years of training. You get your violet robes. You're now officially a wizard or whatever class that they're going to say. Now, at that point, you can either just say, I got my diploma, I'm heading out to see the world, or you can continue into your advanced studies. Those first 7 years only encompass like the bottom 1 or 2 sort of tiers of the sphere. There are many, many more up there where powerful archmages practice incredible magic, create arcane items, perform research into the very nature of the universe. It's like having a large elementary school, middle school, high school, college, advanced sophisticated research facility, all in one massive town. So IOTH's offices are way the heck up there. You have been up to the advanced structures. It would be a lot closer to where Master Elnau's actual office is, because her office isn't in the Great Hall. Her office is in one of the faculty towers. So you've been there before, but you had to fly. There were no magical floating stairs that led you there.
Oh, it says if I want to communicate with the familiar, I have to be within 100 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing about it.
Send it rogue.
That's what I'm thinking is like I could maybe send it rogue, if it doesn't come back. Oh,
Mhm.
oopsie. But so that's a plan, but it's more like, can we get a little bit closer so I can see through it?
Do you think that they'd send another magic carpet down for us? Because I don't know about you guys, but after that climb to the grove, I don't fancy stairs.
What about maybe finding a way to talk to the genie again? Do you think he has
Command
the
it?
power to get the book?
Maybe,
Or
actually.
just send us to the office?
So the person who just drowned being sent to the Great Hall now wants to be sent 4,000 feet in the air.
Well, he's not stoned anymore, so we'll have better luck.
Well, we don't even know if there's any water up there. He has to send us through water, right?
I'm sure he
And-
has a bathroom. Don't all
But-
offices have bathrooms?
We're going to end up in IOTH's toilet bowl.
How would we get back down?
I can stealth us out, smile. A little pass without trace.
And are we just going to float down? Like, I don't...
Maybe Master Elnau could more easily organize for a trip down than a trip up.
Mm-hmm.
Would Master Alnau help us? What? Maybe.
Maybe
Garnet,
not. I feel like that's a little bit above her pay grade, but I mean, there's stairs going up, there's stairs coming down, and I don't know. Does anyone have a illusion that can create a certain student of a robe color that would be on any of these floors? Any illusionists out there?
Potentially.
I have minor illusion.
Not
well
anymore, you
as-
don't.
Silent image. Oh, yes.
Silent
true.
image would work.
Wait, so the cantrips are gone as well?
No, you can cast your cantrips,
Okay.
but
But silent image is gone.
Oh, that's kind of what we needed. Any other illusions? Anyone
I-
has?
I feel like Alex and I might be slightly unprepared for
Yeah, not for
such an
today.
undertaking.
Not for today, at least.
We
I
can
mean,
wait a day.
We could always split up, boys and girls. Alex and I will go and eat bacon. You two can go and climb up 4,000 feet of towers and go mad from reading a book.
I like having bacon personally.
I'm not giving up breakfast.
Yeah, maybe that sounds like a fair point.
Didn't you
Yeah.
already eat?
Yeah, but I'm hungry again.
I suppose lying burns a lot of calories. Let's go.
All right.
I think it can wait till another day, especially given that all the teachers are all over the grove and who knows what kind of meetings they might be having upstairs. I don't think it's going to be feasible to get past them all in order
Yeah.
to get back to the genie.
Maybe give it like a few weeks or something, honestly. Just wait for it to really die down. I mean, we have time. It's not like we need to right now.
But we have plans, and
I like
can
how
do
we've
it.
escalated from let's take over this genie to let's sneak into
break
the
it.
headmaster's office.
I'm thinking of some more end game content than we.
No, this is not a bad plan. However,
Resources depleted. Capabilities limited. Rest, recover, focus. Then attempt. Maybe get a couple more years of school under your belt. I don't know, man.
the atmosphere in the Great Hall as you all go to receive your bacon and to eat, having been lured away from taking a peek at a nascent magical artifact that will come to define the history of the Four Kingdoms for thousands of years to come, because it's hard to do that on an empty stomach, and plus, bacon. Our young heroes sit amongst the rest of the class, and you've all been in a room where everyone's talking. Everyone's just absolutely talking. Kids are getting up from the table and bringing, handfuls of food and just chomping them as you look out the window at the electric sparks falling. People are whispering and talking about what happened at the Grove. The Rupture's never done this before. What happened to all the kids there? We saw them walking down the stairs, being evacuated. There's a huge storm. There's a huge hubbub going on as you all take your meal, which counts as a short rest. You can hear Cryus, aka Squeaky, talking with, he's gathered like a group of other students, sort of all listening to him, and he is explaining in detail what the Rupture is and why it happens and how unusual all of this is to anybody who will listen.
Have we eaten yet?
You are eating as, again, this scene is progressing. You are welcome to eat. We can just say, yep, we eat, we have our breakfast, we go to class the next morning. We can end this. You can intervene now, however you'd like to do it.
I'm feeling for Athalor. If you guys seen the end game, the Avengers post-credit sequence where we're just at shawarma, just absolutely fucking blasted, just silently eating, like, yep, just get back to normal. Like, that's him at the moment.
Garnet, don't you want to check on Christ? Make sure he's all right through all of this.
No, I don't have any math due anytime soon, so I'm okay.
That's fair. But your notes did get kind of ruined, right?
You're right.
Maybe he'd
Oh.
copy them all over if you asked him.
Maybe.
Oh, do you
I'm sure he'd love
you
some
think so?
practice on his scribing.
Oh, Squeaky, where you at?
So when you go over, again, he's got a number of kids listening to him, and he has this sort of air of authority imparted. The more people are listening to him explain things he knows a lot about, the more confidence he has, the less of that sort of neurosis he projects. Roll a persuasion check for me real quick, Garnet.
Okay.
Can we see which table Squeaky's at on our little on our thing here?
All right. A 13. As you go over, he finds himself torn between, I do like sort of where I'm at right now. All these people are listening to me. Garnet wants something. What do I do?
Aren't
What else?
boys gonna pick the girl? Can I do a little like flirtatious, like a little hey, you know?
Yeah.
feel like just undermine
He'll
his
say,
confidence.
well, "I'll tell you the rest of this later." Yeah. Talk to me later. And he goes over to you, and everyone else starts whispering behind him as he walks over there.
Squeaky, I drowned yesterday. I give him the puppy dog eyes. Athalor broke my rib, and my math homework got soaked. And I start tearing up.
Roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Yeah, dude, I broke your girl's rib. What you gonna do about it? Punitive.
An 18. He shoots daggers over at Athalor, who is a little probably just, hey. As this happens, Renobi walks past your table, sort of glances at Athalor, and just leans down by Arianna. Is he all right?
I think so. I think he's just a little tired and having a rough morning. You know, it was kind of stressful this morning.
She narrows her eyes confusedly, looks at you, looks at him, sees the pile of food disappearing slowly into his mouth, gives a little nod, all right, and then keeps walking. Completely ignoring the fact that Cryas is just like, death glaring. All right.
Just like toast with some bacon.
Yeah, Cryas is immediately pliable, willing to help out with anything, and muttering about how an Alfar should know better, you know, with their ancient history and traditions of magic. You would think rabble. And he immediately has his homework, which is all, it's got, you know, color-coded little ribbons in every single topic, impeccably organized. And he's going to go over it with you. Of course, not to let you copy, but just to make sure you understand everything that was talked about, right?
Of course. Yeah.
During the course of which his notes are completely open and you're able to copy off of all of them.
Yeah. Cool. Homework
right.
required.
The rest of the day passes without incident. And the school year continues. And it comes to, as time goes on, and Cryas becomes increasingly like checking in on Garnet and cold towards Athalor. Your classes ramp up. The kind of work that you have to do ramps up. And last year, when you were in the Grove, when you were wearing your red robes, you had to come up with a capstone project based on the craft that you took. This year, in addition to your crafts, you have your elective classes. And so at the end of the year, each of you has to give a report on one topic in your class. Alexander, you're studying magical history.
Yeah.
Cryas has been very talkative about his topic because he's in that class with you. He's going to do magical traditions and the evolution of magic prior to the demonic Imperiums. He's doing lots of research. He's in the library all the time, except when he's helping Garnet with her homework. But like he's definitely doing tons of extensive research and blah blah blah. Is there any particular topic that appeals to Alexander that he'd want to do his report on? You're 12. This is not a, you know.
Yeah, I think actually, from what notes I have on that class, they were talking about the dragon tribes.
Mhm.
So actually, would probably do his little report on the forming of the dragon tribes and just like a brief synopsis of all of them,
Okay.
how they form, what they do, things like that.
Awesome. We will get to that. Athalor, you were taking elemental studies. Renobi hasn't talked a lot about what her topic is. Does Athalor have anything in particular he is interested in doing his end of year report on?
They mentioned something in one of our earlier episodes about like blood and shit?
Well, what? You said blood?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yes,
don't
actually.
entirely remember personally, but I'm sure Athalor would have grasped onto it.
Of course. Yeah, so prior to the demonic Imperiums, it's almost like another element is life energy, and it's encapsulated in physical form in lifeblood, which wells up from the underworld like the other elements. And prior to the death of Arakura, Ramius, one of the Titans, basically took his cup and symbolically poured that blood into the veins of every single creature. So it is a energy source. It is an element of a sorts, and it is associated with the earth. So that would be a great topic for a report.
Can he do like the 12-year-old science thing where he just like the circle of life?
Yeah.
Like the movement of like nutrients through the ecosystem that we do in real life, just lifeblood
Mhm.
through the underworld and the overworld and how it gets recycled.
Garnet would actually be something of an expert on that, because the entire philosophy of the four pillars underlies absolutely everything. Also, your uncle is extremely interested in your report and helpful whenever possible.
Pog. Uncle help.
Pog. Cheating.
Tends to be the case.
All right. Garnet, you had your class on spiritualism, the categorization of the various types of divine entities that dwell within the four kingdoms. What is Garnet going to write or give her report on at the end of the year?
Probably became really interested in the Infernals. I know a lot of the students were kind of fearful and stuff, but Garnet was always very interested in that, and might want to even go into the specifics of like the Iron Butchers and the Machine Prince to kind of learn kind of the origins and just maybe some kind of report along those lines.
Excellent. Okay. That is going to involve a lot of reading that young 12-year-olds are not supposed to do, and books that are not immediately available. How is Garnet going to overcome those challenges?
Would there be any forbidden text that like Master Elnow would have or be able to provide?
Easy. Those like
Okay.
the problem with having a forbidden section of the library is that the moment you have a forbidden section of the library, kids are going to break into the forbidden section in the library. The Great Hall has resolved this issue by not having a forbidden section. All the like adult level texts are kept way the hell elsewhere in one of those higher tiers. But Master Elnow is a archmage and absolutely has access to that kind of crap.
Garnet use special ability, blackmail.
It's super effective.
Would I have anything from my like previous knowledge too of like obviously the firsthand experience and maybe remembering stuff from that too? And
to a certain degree. I don't think that you would have learned a whole lot about the Machine Prince in Brontha, and void magic is separate from infernal magic. It is, they would say, above such things. So that wouldn't be the primary topic. You had obviously firsthand experience, but field experience without the context of extensive notes is different. So that will help, but it's more the things that Elnow is like, oh yeah, this is for personal research. Let me just check this out of the evil books section. And like, so we're montaging a lot of the school year. You are welcome to continue to perform shenanigans and such during this time. But as we move time along, one of the things that happens is Garnet is just sitting in the secret room, going through this like ironclad book written in the infernal tongue that hisses whenever you turn the pages and smells slightly of sulfur.
nice. I love that. I love that for me.
Smell.
Not my first rodeo.
Arianna, you are in botany. What are you giving your report on?
Well, do you remember those leaves
I fuck with these lines.
I found?
The Mordain vapor? The Mordain tea?
The Mordain. Arianna is incredibly interested in recreating this plant.
Wowie.
Ooh.
Wowie.
And investigating its chemical properties.
Enterprising businesswoman.
Are we starting a meth lab in IOTH Academy? There's a meth
Welcome
lab.
to IOTH Academy.
Breaking Bad. Breaking
Oh.
my off.
We're drowning girls and we're
for
breaking
herself.
bad.
she's just like incredibly like she's an inquisitive mind, you know, and
Mhm.
and after finding these
Science.
leaves and doing some research on it, she's very, very interested in the process of, you know, how people even came to figure out what these are used for, and like just like the whole process of like getting it to the point where you have this dried leaf.
Okay. I wholeheartedly support Arianna's enthusiasm. And she can absolutely do research into such things over the course of the school year. In terms of end of year school reports, she is not supposed to have this stuff. It went missing from the alchemical laboratory.
Oh.
And it might raise some questions if a 12-year-old is like, and here's how to hallucinate and send your mind to the dream world.
Check out
So,
these drugs I found.
How to do drugs. by
also,
Anacra.
another thing, and this is where things might get slightly awkward, is that as the semester goes on, you're supposed to meet with your teacher to talk about what you want to write your report about. So, does Arianna realize that this could raise some red flags before or after that conversation? Is this something she talks with her peers about, with the rest of her crew? Like,
You know, I do believe that Arianna would know that she wasn't supposed to take those from the lab, but she does have them anyway. I think she would be smart enough to know that she shouldn't bring this up, but she's gonna investigate it anyway in her own free time.
okay, third-party research.
Mum, I found
Yeah.
these noodles filled with happy juice.
You know, capstone project.
New projects. Control N, Control N.
Scrap that idea.
That we're gonna put that on the back burner. Literally.
It's in
And
a hidden file system.
think about something else.
Do you want us to come back to you?
Yes.
All right.
You're gonna
I
make like a
do.
potato battery or something. Proper 12-year-old stuff.
All right, then. Let us... I do, again, I have logged the fact that we are interested in speaking with Dubasif again, and that we are interested in sneaking into IOTH's private offices to see what he's got going on. So I want to balance that. My goal for this session is to get us to the next year, get you to your orange robes. So would our heroes make a play for either of these or other objectives during their second year? Or would any of these wait till their third year?
I think Athalor will be quite concerned, but we should return towards Dubasif and see if he gave them up. Because obviously if the grove's flooded, across the little nation there, it's gonna be like, let's talk to the water genie who controls all the water.
Yeah. Alex
And then do
definitely
they find
favor.
Dubasif high out of his mind?
Oh no.
What?
Isn't he trained at this point to tell the truth?
Only our
And-
commands, I thought.
I mean, to us.
But would he
Probably
to
to
a
IOTH
teacher?
too.
So
I mean, you say
here's
trained to.
bound to, I think. Magically bound to. Wouldn't you, if you were binding a genie, wouldn't you include something that they have to tell the truth?
Alex actually probably thought about this and made the assumption that hopefully that IOTH himself wouldn't come down to Dubasif. It would just be teachers talking to Dubasif, and that hopefully IOTH just didn't get personally involved. Probably would have mentioned that at some point.
Oh.
I think we should ascertain how much he may have told them.
Arianna has figured out her project.
Uh-oh.
Interrogations of genies with a 12-year-old girl.
With
No.
botany.
The truth weed.
What is Ariana's project?
After talking with the group about potentially going back to talk to Dubasif, she realizes that there might be a really good way to get access to the Grove again. And that is with a project figuring out how to no,
Log
is that the
flumes.
only place that has like a river in it?
The Grove
Kinda.
is lousy with them.
Yeah, so after spending a year in the Grove, I feel like with the botanical knowledge that Arianna has of the area, she wants to revisit the Grove with some kind of project.
Okay.
Oh,
And that's
the
as far as I've got
guys.
at this point.
The
So,
guy is like, I need to go back to the Grove. It's for my botany project. I'm taking my friends.
All right, so I feel like, one, this is super clever. Two, Arianna may have voiced that she's made it this far in combination with the team's concerns about whether Dubasif is or is not a snitch.
Yep.
Does the rest of the party have any ideas that might facilitate this for said project? Because the only direction we have in this project is botany, Grove.
Are there like plants or something that you can only find in the Grove? I mean, there must have been, right? And you can't like get them here. So see how they function in a natural environment or something. And also, I don't know, have some control groups. Those are words that science stuff throws around.
Yeah, I feel like maybe there is some world where I take river plants from the Grove and try to recreate some kind of controlled environment or figure out how to work with aquatic plants better. That's not something I got a chance to do at home. I don't have a whole lot of knowledge about aquatic plants.
Oh, maybe you could take some of the seeds from the aquatic plants in the Grove and try and grow them here with your irrigated botany to see if the like minerals in the river do a different thing about how they grow.
Yeah, and you actually have an excuse to go back to the Grove you need to compare to the natural ones versus your own.
That is brilliant.
Go
And then that gets
science.
us access
Go
because
science.
like, well, think about it too. I can't carry all of the transplant equipment by myself.
Are you telling me Garnet's gonna have to play under the guise of being help?
I don't know. You guys are the boys. You're supposed to carry the things. Why would you make me do it?
What are you there for? Humming a
Literally
tune?
equally as strong.
I have great handwriting, so I can be the note taker.
Garnet's also, you know, she's got dainty hands. I feel like she could help me pick the seeds.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
All right,
Show it, I suppose.
Arianna, roll persuasion check.
Who is this for?
This would be convincing your teacher to have all these people, Sig Gezig, have all these people come along with you and get access to the Grove. 23. You've
She's
still
good at
got a
this
floating
today.
point of inspiration that hasn't been spent, but yeah,
I don't
no,
need it.
it's sold. You are able to organize a field trip back to the Grove pretty quickly, which, by the way, since we're doing something of a time lapse, I will say that the weather at the Grove returns to normal very quickly. It's just like during the whole day of the rupture for 24 hours when Dubasif is completely useless, the weather continues to be bizarre. There's a significant amount of damage. The other students have to be housed elsewhere for a little while, but after about a week, they're moved back into the Grove and life continues as normal. So you may reapproach Dubasif during whatever time frame that the lot of you see fit.
Wait, you made a joke in our backstage about you can't stop us blowing up Sventiska's house. Didn't we just do that?
Yeah. Yeah, you blew up Sventiska's house.
So we have given this small child PTSD and we made her homeless for a little while. Why are we ruining this person's life?
Are we the baddies?
Make your own villain.
Baddies.
Are we?
Why do we have skulls on our hats? Are we the baddies?
All right. Under the auspices of retrieving rare seeds and particular plants and taking samples, our heroes are able to sneak their way back into the grove, to the heart of the river, and back to
Dubasif the Magnificent, the First. What would you like to do?
Hi. What has happened since the rupture?
What?
Oh. He's not talking.
I find your silence uncomfortable, Dubasif.
Speak, boy.
Everybody gets a point of experience because my soundboard malfunctioned.
Oh.
Hooray!
XP.
I feel
Yes!
suddenly
The
stronger,
rupture!
Dubasif. Thank you.
I've been submitted to unspeakable indignities. I have been interrogated. My very honor called into question for hours upon end by all sorts of pathetic mortal magi.
Alex, have a look at the runes.
Sure.
Make sure they haven't been
Yeah.
re-edited.
the eyes of the Runekeeper project the true meaning, or at least the true literal meaning of the runes, organized now in bizarre patterns and sentences. They are as you left them, Alexander.
Okay. Upon inspecting them, then Alex pipe up with a question. So, do you believe IOTH hasn't been here to talk to you then, since the rupture?
Him, I doubt he would dare show his face again.
What about Inreal Untermaler?
Who?
Who Megalol?
I think you'd know if you knew him.
So who came here to talk to you?
Oh, I don't keep track of mortal riffraff. I pay them as little mind as possible. They are fit but nothing but to be my thralls and to wait upon my every whim. Instead, they stand there with their magic staves, their fancy robes, paltry garments, demanding answers as to why the water destroyed everything and why the weather got out of control and why all these mundane indignities that I am forced to maintain with my daily basis have been out of whack for their pathetic mortal needs.
Wait, Your Highness, what did you tell them when they asked you about what happened with the water?
Dubasif falls silent for a moment, and a flickering blue light passes over his eyes.
Nothing.
Are
What do you
you
mean nothing?
sure?
Is he lying?
Can Athalor attempt to intimidate him through the advantage we have of a spell? Are you lying to us, Dubasif?
No. I told them nothing.
What compelled you to say nothing?
This accursed binding under which I operate.
Arianna just breathes a massive sigh of relief at this point.
What?
And
Oh, sorry.
yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good.
Alexander, a cold voice.
You're welcome, by the way.
Right. Thank you.
Duvasi, what color were the robes that came to see you? Just curious.
Oh, white with gold trim, black with gold trim, off-white with silver trim, lots of brown.
Oh, a lot of higher ups then.
I'm sure none of the robes were as glorious as yours. Athalor kind of gives him a pat on the head for having not ratted them out with some ego stroking.
He's floating like 8 feet above you.
No, it's more of a metaphorical pat on the
A
head.
metaphorical pat on the metaphorical head. Understandable.
Rather than a giga jump.
Literally
like a
goes
dunk
like
pat
this.
on the head.
Duvasi, for like, I don't know, science, asking for a friend, would you be able to take us to a magical bathroom at the top of the tower, being near IOTH's office by a coinky dink?
Fearing my wrath, the insufferable Althar coward, who calls himself IOTH, has sealed his immediate domain against all extraplanar intrusions. That being said, I'm sure something in the rough vicinity could be arranged for.
Wait, guys, what do we have to be there? Can't we just ask Dubasif to take the book?
Well, that would be an extraplanar intrusion, wouldn't it?
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So what, like the level
How much
below?
more is in books? Just
Or well, like, could you bring us the level below, or how close can you get us?
The exact specifications are very difficult to see. All I perceive are bodies of water stranded throughout this pathetic mortal plane. Their precise relationship to each other, not entirely clear. But there's a big old area where there's nothing because he's locked it off.
I wonder if that means we could even get your familiar in there. Is it some sort of magical barrier?
He has sealed the pathways between the four kingdoms.
What does that
Yeah, what does that mean?
Well, that topic is covered in a class that you're going to take next year, but I will allow Arcana checks.
let's go.
Let's
Intrepid
go.
students launch.
Oh,
I may have
we
forgot
are-
to have my character sheet open.
We're brainy. We're brainy.
Oh my
Ooh,
God.
Guess who brainy
That's so
today?
smart.
All right, everybody except Arianna, who literally was like, "What does that mean?" had a vague idea of what this means, or a fairly precise one. So, the four kingdoms, the planes of existence, the underworld, the mortal world, the otherworld, and the
It's quite a
overworld.
good natural 20 for Athalor.
No, it fits right in with his knowledge. So these four planes of existence of Anacra are sort of interlocked and nestled. They're very closely connected to each other. There's physical pathways between them. And somehow, IOTH has prevented you from crossing from one of these four planes of existence, one of the four kingdoms, to another within his specific area. Athalor, this means that all natural planar boundaries, all spells that require you to cross planar boundaries have been blocked, probably by a forbiddance spell or some variation on a forbiddance spell, which you'd be able to research and look up. You would also know, not only does this mean that when Dubasif sends you somewhere, he actually sends you through water to the elemental well springs in the underworld and then back out through another body of water. The trip is supposed to be instantaneous, except if he's riding the rupture, in which case you nearly drown in an infinite ocean, which is what happened last time. You would also know that this effect would not only block this path, this sort of transportation, because it involves going through one plane of existence to another, it would block all teleportation magic, because teleportation magic actually takes you between worlds in order to get from one place to another. So no teleportation magic will get you into IOTH's sanctum, and no planar portals or pathways will take you into IOTH's sanctum.
With my natural 20, can the uncle weigh in to see if he still can establish a connection through the forbidden magic?
If there is a mind there, and we are in proximity, perhaps it can be found.
All I need
We need
is
NordVPN.
all I need is to get my familiar in that room, and I can have the familiar use identify on the book, get information. I need to be within 100 feet to talk with my familiar, so maybe being the floor below would work. But if there's a locked door, I will need to kind of help my familiar get to it.
+1 XP. You should expect locked doors, magical traps, defensive spells, and guardian constructs.
Jesus.
It's like a 7th-year project.
Yeah, IOTH is a level 20 wizard.
Oh,
Like that, just
shoot.
cards on the table. IOTH is a level 20 wizard, and this is his where he keeps his most important life's work, if he's even real.
I was
yeah.
about to say, that's a stat sheet. Is that confirmed real?
That the scuttlebutt is that he's a level 20 wizard, and where he keeps all of his most important powerful magic is going to be heavily guarded. This is a heist. This is a big heist. This is something that is not off the table, but is going to take planning, recon, resources, contacts, people on the inside, magical tools and spells and equipment.
Maybe a water-based terrorist strike in the Grove.
Maybe a water-based terrorist strike in the Grove. Who knows?
Duvasiv, do you know who IOTH's most trusted contact is? Or like a, vice principal or something?
Him? He trusts no one! As the years have gone by, he's become ever more reclusive and turned towards the past.
Athalor. Actually, Athalor, roll a history check.
Man, where's my boys? There they are. Ooh. Ooh.
Not bad.
Spicy history.
The person that IOTH trusts more than anyone else is the Dokalfar Sage.
I was about to say, is it Dark Lady?
Yeah.
Bitch didn't sign my book. I've never forgotten.
She unfortunately does not teach here.
Sucks.
A lot of things she didn't do.
Here's what you know about the Dark Elves, the Dokalfar. They dwell underground. They build their settlements around natural passageways between the mortal world and the other world. They consider themselves the guardians of the underworld. And with a 23 in history and having done quite a bit of reading, they are also the self-appointed guardians of Dream, the so-called Fifth Kingdom.
Are there legends about what resides in Dream?
Horrors. Things that should not exist. Things that prey upon sleeping minds. Things that come here from beyond even the firmament itself. The Fifth Kingdom is very poorly understood. Dream magic is very poorly understood. And it doesn't fit neatly within the cosmology of the Four Kingdoms. It allows for all sorts of sneaky little passageways and ways to break what would otherwise quantify the laws of magic. But oniromancy is, God, I don't know if that's even a topic that would be taught at the school. That's obscure stuff. The Dokalfar are the only known practitioners of oniromancy.
Duvasu, do you know how to get a meeting with IOTH? Like, how does that happen?
Have you tried imprisoning all of his friends in your underwater palace for all of time?
No, but I'll put it in the notes.
Worked for me.
What about an appointment?
I've been locked up in the spell that he conjured for hundreds of years. If there's an appointment-making process, I am not privy to it.
You ever been able to lodge a review with a secretary?
I would give a very poor review. 0 stars.
What if you were to be set free? Would he need to be the one that puts you back in?
I think we're getting ahead of ourselves here.
I'm sure that no other pathetic mortal wizard could bind the majesty that is Duvasiv.
To be fair, Garnet, I was thinking of that too. That could be like step 50 of the 50-step plan to actually like make sure he's not there, and then we could get in.
Well, if he's
Haven't we already mostly destroyed the Grove by messing with Duvasiv?
why not mess it up more?
Well,
if he's going to be so guarded up there, like, how the heck are we going to get through all these traps? We can just make him come to us.
And then kick his ass and take his book.
So what you're telling me
Yeah, exactly.
is you want IOTH
Tell me
to
where your
come
book is.
here and see 4 12-year-olds getting
Fucking the genie.
messing with his genie and destroying the Grove, and you think this will work? And you're just like, oh man, you guys are bold, you guys are cool. Come have a look at my sick book.
Well, I could have my familiar follow IOTH back to his office, which I don't think he would walk through his own traps. So all of the traps and all the doors would be unlocked if we were to just follow IOTH back to his office. But just an idea.
Don't you think he'd notice that a familiar is following him?
Unless he can see invisibility. No. I don't know what's...
Isn't he like 1,000 years old at this point?
Yeah, he can't
Several,
see.
actually.
Can't see very well. Old
If he's
people,
even
you know.
real.
Oh yeah, we have to confirm he's even real. You're right.
True.
Wait. Is there a way to research how people can even live that long?
What color were the robes that the student had in that vision?
Violet. That was a 7th-year student.
So that's
we-
like the last one before the diploma, yeah?
Yeah, it's like when you decide to either continue your studies or return to the world.
And then when they broke in to like IOTH's, that was IOTH's office, right? That we're aware of that like they got
Mhm.
into or whatever, and IOTH just wasn't there.
Apparently.
Yeah,
Okay.
apparently.
It's like off in the corner, invisible, just like watching the whole thing transpire.
What if we did the like 3 people in a trench coat, 3 people in a violet robe situation? Are we all 12-year-olds?
older students.
How do you do, fellow grown-ups?
Magic, magic, magic.
DM check. With the old trance,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the first fresh memories that Athalor's been able to make being of all this pretty messed up stuff. Would he be able to relive looking through IOTH's office? Or at least seeing the person moving through IOTH's office to see what their pathway to the book was? In terms of like steps and height?
That is an excellent idea, and it is entirely possible. Let's explore that after we come back from a short break. We'll be right back, everybody.